Kelsey, sounds good. We are definitely keeping an eye on that. My eyes have just not readjusted. The moon is so bright when you come back to the window. I was just in the interior of the cabin. I've come back to T-shirt window, and it's just overwhelming brightness. And my viewing angle is a bit challenging, so I won't be able to give you great observations from this window. But I will talk about something that I was talking a lot about in my recordings earlier, which was we've been talking about some shades, and so we have obviously the dark and the light gray, and then we've talked about naming some colors, a brownish hue and a greenish hue. And I'll tell you, like right now, Aristarchus, the plateau is hard for me to see from this window, but that had greenish hues to me and was very unique. I didn't see anything like that anywhere else on this side of the moon. And then I see a lot of these, what I would call brownish hue areas. There's a number of them. And they, for example, in the northwest corner of the highlands, to me it looks like the brownish hue is caused by ray or ejected material landing on the highlands, and then we obviously see the ray areas as a lighter albedo, but in between the rays where the deposit would be thinnest, that is what it looks like is causing the brown to me. So I saw that in the northwest side of Aristarchus, or sorry, that dark area of the highlands, northwest side of the highlands. I saw it in the highlands to the east of Glushko, and then I see those same brownish hues west of Oriental, and I drew a contact there on one note, but that's a huge region, kind of like a piece of pie with the point of the pie pointing at Oriental and then going up towards the northern side of Hertzsprung. And that is an area that just looks like a different, that brownish albedo.
That was fantastic, Jeremy. We had heard rumors of the green and brown hues, and so you really read my mind on asking about those. Understand they likely didn't have any contact with each other the way that you described them, but please correct me if I misunderstood that. And then last thing, I'll make the same offer we made to Victor earlier. If it would be helpful for us to verbalize any targets so you can stay at the windows and keep your eyes adjusted to the moon, please let us know.
If you got something you want us to look at, Kelsey, you can send it on up.
Definitely not looking to interrupt your flow, Reed and Jeremy, only offering assistance if you guys want to keep your eyes off of the PCDs.
Oh, I see what you're saying, okay. Not really science related, and we definitely learned this at Apollo, but the thing that is just most fascinating, I think, to me and Victor right now is even as rugged as the far side looks, when you look at Oriental and Home, it's rugged, but man, when you look at the Terminator, it is just like impossibly rugged, and it reminds you that the whole far side is that way, and just the Terminator is really bringing out the shadows and the hills and the valleys, and it is just, it's unbelievable. It's like no surface of the Terminator is not marked by meteor impact, and it is very impressive to look at that, and you realize that that is true across the whole far side. You just can't see it due to sun illumination right now.
Reed, Houston copies, and we were commenting on the same thing. Even from our view, the Terminator looks absolutely alien because there's just so much texture in there that we're just not used to seeing. So thanks for sharing that with us.
There's also, I don't know the name of it, coming out the south-southwest of Oriental, right on the southern terminator Terminator is just a massive crater. I don't know the name of it. Maybe you can look on the solar array wing video and tell me it's right. It's the southernmost crater you see on the Terminator right now.
We're looking for you. We're loving that picture. Thanks for showing us. And Reed, as an answer to your last question, we believe that that is Chebyshev crater. And the sir agrees with that.
Okay, that picture I was just showing you is an 8X iPhone out the docking hatch for the high grazing angle. It's just amazing.
We love it. Thank you.
This is Artemis Mission Control in Houston, Texas. Mission elapsed time, 4 days, 22 hours, 12 minutes into the flight of Orion. This is lunar flyby day for the crew aboard the spacecraft. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen are now the farthest people to have ever traveled from Earth. This a live view from inside the spacecraft. They have turned off the lights so they're able to see outside and photograph the moon better with no reflections from inside. And for a very brief moment there.
Integrity Science, thanks for those iPhone views. It's helpful to see what you're seeing.
We very briefly saw NASA astronaut Reed Wiseman showing a picture he took on his phone of the moon. We do expect to get all of the photos that the crew is taking today, and we cannot wait to share some of those with you. But pretty cool in the meantime, just to see one quick shot. from what the crew is seeing. And this view from outside the spacecraft on Orion's solar array wing. Orion is now 6,643 miles away from the moon and continuing to grow closer. Again, their closest approach will be about 4,066 miles. The best comparison is if you held a basketball at arm's length. That's about what it would look like to the Artemis 2 crew at their closest approach. This view showing at the very top, a camera coming from Orion, continuing their flyby of the moon. We have 3 more flyby observation blocks after the completion of this one. Down in the bottom left of your screen, that's the SIR, the Science Evaluation Room, where team members are continuing to work through all of the targets that the crew is photographing today, and they've helped identify some of the craters and some of the other items that the crew has seen on the moon's surface. Down on the right is Artemis Mission Control here in Houston. Those 2 rooms down at the bottom are just down the hall from each other. And we are just a few minutes away from the next cabin and window team swap. That means Victor and Christina, who have been at the windows, will fly to the cabin, the background essentially, and be their support crew for Reed and Jeremy. Reed and Jeremy will move back up to the windows. Point, and its brightness as well as any colors. We did hear earlier Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen reporting that they could even see browns and even greens on the moon. I'm really looking forward to seeing those photos. And in just a couple of minutes, the teams will swap from the cabin to the window. Another rundown of just how this flyby is choreographed inside the spacecraft today. So these activities have been timelined, and there are these 5 blocks of time during which the crew is going to be observing the moon from Orion's windows. Now we are just coming up on the end of the second block, and we'll start the third soon. So at any time during those blocks, 2 members are at the windows working in a pair. One is taking photos from window 2 and has a blue shroud over the window to help prevent any reflections from inside the spacecraft. They are also using an 80 to 400 millimeter zoom lens. And the other astronaut on the window team will be in window 3 using their portable computing device to make annotations. Now, again, both of those crew members are making audio recordings of what they are seeing, and we are not hearing that right now. Those are going to be downlinked later to the science team, who will evaluate them and use that data to inform our understanding of the moon. Those 2 crew members at the windows swap roles.
Integrity Houston, it is time for another swap between the cabin and the window teams. So we have 15 minutes of handover time, and then we will expect Jeremy and Reed at the windows and Christina and Victor at the cabin. I have no new vehicle updates for you, but I do have a photo location for some photos on Ike's PCD, and I want to let you know that Jeremy's family have arrived in the viewing gallery.
Okay, Jenny, we copied most of that. The only thing we're missing is what you meant about the photo location on Victor's PCD. And hello to my family. I think that must be Catherine and Devin that are there. And I'm glad they made it into the viewing room. And we copy it's time for crew swap. The A team's coming out of the windows and the B team's going in.
Okay, copy. All I meant to pass for Victor's PCD is that there are some late load photos that were requested that are now in his favorite photos folder. And you're exactly right. We have Catherine and Devin here. They give you a big wave, and they're super excited and happy to see part of what you're seeing.
Okay, copy, Jenny. We're not sure what we're looking for in the PCD, but we're going to poke around, and we may be calling you back about that one.
All right, that's no problem, and it's unrelated to flyby.
This is Artemis Mission Control here at Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. And as you just heard, Capcom, or Capsule Communicator Jenny Gibbons, Canadian Space Agency astronaut, and Artemis 2 crew backup, relaying to the teams in Orion that it is time for a swap from the cabin to the window teams. We're now at the tail end of the second lunar flyby observation block. Again, we have 5 of these today. Most recently, Victor Glover and Christina Cook were at the windows photographing and making annotations, while Reed Wiseman and Jeremy Hansen were in the cabin providing support, whether that is SD card help, but also science sit reps, calling down any situation reports for what they are seeing on the moon or anything about the vehicle status. With that call to make a swap, Reed and Jeremy will be back at the windows, making observations for what they see at the moon and taking photos.